Hi there, Cards on the Table with Vicky. Today I'd like to show you a floating pop-up card. I've put this previously on my Facebook page and people requested some measurements, so I thought I'd just do a YouTube video of it and how I did this. So here it is, your floating pop-up card. There's the floating piece there, has these side panel columns. It's a really nice card, really fun card to make. It's a few things to do, but once you've got all the pieces cut, it doesn't take long to put together. I've used the Designer Series paper Delightfully Eclectic for all the pieces. I have used white and bubble bath cardstock, and for the flowers I've used white, lemon lolly, night of navy, garden green and crushed curry. For the actual flowers as well, I've used the Simply Zinnia dies, and I've used layering leaves stamp set for the greeting. And the other thing I've used also is 2 circle dies. Okay, the small one is the one you're going to be cutting out the aperture for. If you don't have anything big enough to give you a nice little frame for that one, which is just used on here, you can leave it out. But I just like having the frame around it. So that's if you've got 2 circle dies. This one is, how big is that circle? I think it is 7 centimeters, this one, and by inches it'll be about, it looks like 2 3/4, 2 3/4 inches. So that's the main one you want, and it doesn't have to be exactly that size. It could be this size. It really doesn't matter. You just want something to be able to cut out the center. Right, we're ready to start. So here is the first pieces you need for this floating pop-up card. I would suggest that you use a fairly thin card because of the layers that you are going to have to be cutting through with your die. You don't want it really thick, or you're going to have difficulty getting it through all the different layers. So with this card, I have 3 different pieces. They're all from the, what are they from? The Designer paper Delightfully Eclectic, which is in the current annual catalogue. This one, so all the papers match, so that's that side of that one, and the pink, I've picked that up in here. But you can use all the same color paper. This would look fantastic, and I've done one in a black and white and gold paper for a 21st, and it looked really good like that as well. So let's start with sorry, I'm fiddling around too much with this paper, aren't I? Let's start with our card base. Make sure this is the way it's going to open. So this is my paper. Look at the orientation of your paper. Make sure it's going in the right direction. And whoa, there's a new glue bottle, lots of glue in that. So I'm just going to quickly put some glue on here, pop it on the front. I'm not using a mat on this one. If I wanted to have a mat behind this, I would use cardstock perhaps, or a different pattern paper, but I would probably cut it out so that it wasn't so thick. So that's my outside piece. What color am I going to do? Inside, I think I'll do the opposite side. Wrong glue. The opposite side, the yellow, I like that. Give that a thing there, and I'm just going to pop that on the inside. Now this card is 14.5 centimeters by 14.5 centimeters, or in Imperial it is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 for your base card. And then for your 3 pieces of designer paper that you're using, these are 14 centimeters by 14 centimeters or 5.5 centimeters, 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. So that's just to get them all in there. There we go. Sorry, I think my table's wobbling a bit today. All right, so that's your front and inside. Now we need dies, circle dies for these. I'm using 2 dies. So this one, the smaller one, is the one I'm going to be cutting out the window or aperture out of the center. But I would like you to also have a slightly larger circle die, or just, you see this one's just a little bit bigger, just to use as, and this will be the frame part, just to give it a frame around this. I'll show you in a minute what I mean. I'm just going to cut this out. Right, I have cut this out. Pardon me. Cut this out, and there's my hole done. And what I wanted you to do with this slightly larger die was to cut it out in another circle, a matching colour that you were using. I've decided to go with navy, and that's going to go on the inside of my card. Oh, got a bit of glue on there. I'll fix that in a minute. All right, so that's what you're going to do with those 2 circles. So I'll put that aside for the moment because we're going to just finish working on the front of our card. So with the front, I am going to place, and these are optional, of course, you can leave that. I'm going to place a strip across here, so a little bit of glue either end, give me that strip across the center, and just guess where the center is, about there. Hopefully that's straight. Let's see, that looks straight. And then you can just stamp, you could stamp your greeting on there. I'm using a greeting from the Layering Leaves stamp set, which is current. If you don't have this stamp set, I would highly recommend this. This is a keeper. This has all the greetings you need, plus the leaves, which you could use for any kind of card. It's a fabulous set. Okay, back to my piece. So I have already stamped this in Night of Navy to match my card, and I punched it out with a 2-inch circle punch, and this is just going to go in the center here. So I'll just put a bit of glue there, not too much, and there it'll sit in the middle. Now you might choose not to put any of this in here. You might just want to just see this piece here, which is fine. If you are having, say, your greeting on the inside, or maybe a big number like 21 or 50 or 60 or something that would be showing through, that looks great too, and I've done that as well. I did that for a 21st. So I left this bit off and I just had a big 21 showing in the middle. So, but this is mine today. So I've got the front nearly done. I did decide I'm using Simply Zinnias, and with the Simply Zinnias I have just cut out one here in the white with a bit of Lemon Lolly and Night of Navy there, and I've got a couple of leaves and a little bud there as well. So I might just add the bud and the leaves with some glue dots just to get them in place where I want them. So I might have that popping up like this, and I think I'll have my 2 leaves over this side here. So I'll just pop them in with a couple more glue dots just to hold them in place while I secure the whole piece. So that's there. That can hop up there. Another glue dot. One more glue dot. There we go. I don't want you sticking down yet. There we go. So quite I think let's just get you in position, up a bit, there we go. That's about where I will want it. So I'm going to now place some dimensionals on the back, and that will, I'll just move that over so you see I'm securing these pieces with the dimensionals as well. Just give them a bit more strength. Give that another one. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if I need one there or not. I'll see how that sits. I can always add that bit on later. There we go. I don't mind the flower just popping over the edge there. That's fine. I just don't want it coming over the edge of my card because that won't be very good when I'm trying to put it in an envelope. So that's the front of my card. So now we will work on the inside. Okay. Right. Now for the inside of the card. First thing I'll do is, I should have said this before, with your mat there and this piece here, just glue them together. You can choose which side you like. I'm just going to go with that one. I could have gone with the yellow actually. I didn't think of that. Too late. There we go. I'm going to go that way. So when this is in under here, hang on, just get it there. It'll be sitting under here, and when can't bring it down. It'll be, you'll see it under here. Sorry, I was bringing my card forward. You didn't see that. I was just saying that underneath it'll be like this, and then you'll open it up and it'll be popped up. All right, let's talk about the columns. That's the next thing I want to talk about. So with the columns, you will need two pieces, two strips, and they are going to be 2.5 centimeters by 29.5 centimeters, or I think in Imperial they were 1 inch by 11 and 5/8 inches. I'll have all the measurements on a PDF for you. All right, I might just score this one just to show you how that works. So I've moved all that aside and moved my cutter out of the way. I'm going to score this at 2.5, and what else is it? 2.5, 13.5, 16, which I can never find exactly. It'll do. 27. And then 29.5, which is the end. Of course, I don't need to score that bit. Right. So that's what you end up with. And then you just fold that all up, like so. Work out which way it sits the best. If it's a little bit, see, that's because I can't get my 16 right. Just flatten it down. Make sure it is sitting flat. All right, that's all you need to worry about more than anything. Oops. And then we put a bit of glue on there. Get that nice. Fold it the other direction. Again, make sure it folds flat. So it's folding flat both directions. There we go. Now, with this one, just show you, you might notice if there's a little bit of a piece showing, just trim it off. Not a problem. Not a problem. Things can always be fixed. Now you're going to need 2 of these. Here's another one I prepared earlier. And you're also going to need 2 patterned pieces, slightly smaller, and 2 pieces, square pieces that will sit on the top of each one. And all you need to do now is just decide which is going to be your front of your column and the top of your column. Not going to worry too much, I'm just going to center that on the center. So yes, just cutting the designer paper just slightly smaller so it has a small frame around it, and then one for the top There we go. Yep. Just to neaten it up, and same with the other one. Sorry, I keep doing this out of line of vision. There we go. It's checking my video's on. I had a terrible thought I hadn't clicked the video. That would be bad, wouldn't it? Because I'd have to do this all over again. All right, so that's the columns. That's what you need for the columns. We're going to put the columns in now. So with the columns, see if I can get this centered right. Look where the front of your pattern paper is and press it. Press your piece so that you've got this little square one that's plain and your pattern piece. And on the back, you've got the little pattern piece and a big piece of plain. So the first piece you're going to put glue on is this one at the bottom, like so. And this piece, you're going to butt it up against the edge of your center fold. See how I'm lifting my card to get it in there? And I'm running it along the edge of my pattern paper so that I'm fairly straight with it. And I'm going to hold it there for a minute, and I'll put glue on the back, just on the plain piece again, not on the pattern. And then I will close that up. And then hopefully when we lift it, hang on, yep, there it is. Didn't quite come up where I wanted it to, but you don't need to panic about it. You just, I must have a little bit of glue that was holding it back. So that's all you need to do. I probably didn't hold it down long enough either. It's a very wet, damp day here today, and glue, everything just takes longer to set. And so again, you're holding it so you've got your mainly your pattern piece, and you're just putting a bit of glue on the bottom there. Again, you're putting it here against the center fold, lining it up with a designer paper, pushing it in, and then you're running a pattern piece. You're running the glue on the back there where the other big piece of plain card is. And now you can just fold that down. Sorry, keep moving that card. I'm not doing a good job at this, am I? All right, I'll hold that down for a minute because it didn't take, I was a bit too quick last time. I really feel like you've got to give it a little bit of time for that glue to take because of the weather. I mean, that's a pretty card by itself, just like that. If you choose, you could just leave it like that. You didn't have to put all the pop-up columns and everything fancy inside, but there it is. There's the columns, and you can see they're popping up nicely now. It's just this today isn't very good for me to do this, but it's the day we're doing it. So the next piece we're going to work on now is our center piece. And this piece is just, oh my goodness, I don't know if you can hear that. It's galahs outside, or cockatoos, I think it is, making all the noise. This center pop-up center piece is 8 centimeters by 16 centimeters, or 6 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I'm just going to check that up here on my glass mat. I'm hoping I got that right. The inches with this was a bit more difficult, but I'm hoping I did it right. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I scored this at 3 centimeter intervals. So 3, 6, 9, and 12, or it'll be at 1 and I think 1 1/4 inch intervals. So 1 1/4, 2 1/2. What's after that? Well, 3 3/4. Yep, 3 3/4 and 5 inches. All right, so that's, and then I'm going to fold that over after I've scored it, and you get your little rectangle piece. This piece is going to sit in here. All right, so just flatten it. Now you have one more piece of designer paper here. This one is again just slightly smaller than this, so it's about 7.5 centimeters by probably 2 and 2.5 or something like that centimeters. So just a slightly smaller piece of designer paper to go across the front of this, and I'm going to glue that on now. Still using the same, if I can get the glue to work. Could I picked a better day to do this? Probably. All right, let's get this in. But I have been, some people have asked me to do this, so I promised I would get it done, and I've been a bit late, so I just felt it had to be done. All right, we need to glue this into the center piece here between the two columns. So once you've got your designer paper on, you're going to glue the bottom. So that's the one below that pattern paper, right? And you're going to be gluing the side as well. So the bottom, not the pattern piece, not the top, this piece here, all right? So they're the two pieces I'm going to be, so I'm now putting this in here. So I folded it flat to get it in there, and you can see the pattern pieces here. The glue is this side and this side, all right? And I'm putting that into the center, getting about between the two columns there, and I'm going to close it. And again, I'm going to hold it down for a few seconds just to let it set there. We're nearly there. We're just about ready to start finishing the decorating. So don't, stay with me people. Here we go. All right, let's see if I held it down long enough. That's good. All right, so there we go. This is it. So we have the columns, we have the pop-up piece there. I do have, what I did here, now you can do different things. You could just have a strip of white card here if you wanted, whatever you choose. I actually liked this large scallop die I had, and I've just stamped, hope you have the best birthday there, a stamp I had in my stash. And I just like the circular piece of it there with a circle above it. So maybe if you've got another larger circle die, even bigger than the one you've used, if you've got a big enough one, I think that looks good. A circle or scallop die to put there, because we've got the circle theme here, and we're about to put a circle here as well. All right, so this circle, we're going to put this circle here in the center, and you can see that it only sits on the little box we've got in the center there, probably about 1/3, the top 1/3. So you can't put glue all over it. Even put your finger there if you like, just to get an idea of how far you can put your glue. Don't go below that, or you will have glue in the wrong place. And then we're going to set that there. So that's, again, it's going to take a few minutes. So I'm going to close it. And at this point, I can see, I'm going to push, because it's glue, I can move it. Pushed it forward a little bit so that I had a better piece showing through. I didn't have any, I felt it was more centered then. So that's good about the glue, using the glue. You can, if you've got a bit of maneuverability at that point, that sort of helps as well. I'll press that down because I want that to be held in place. So this is basically the card. Okay, we've made the card, the main part of the card. As I said before, if you didn't want this front piece, you might just want to put a big number on here that'll be showing through, and then you open it up and there it is popping up at you. Or you might want the greeting might be on there. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. I just chose this way. Again, I'm going to decorate the inside with a couple more of the flowers and some leaves, And this time I think I will do, so because I've got a white there, I want the yellow here and then the white here. So that's how I'm going to put them on, and I will just use some dimensionals here. Sorry, just thinking as I go. Right, so flower here and a couple of dimensionals on the white one. So I don't know if I mentioned the colours I've used for the flowers. So this one here is crushed curry, lemon lolly and the navy. So that was just me, and what I'm doing is I'm just picking up the colours that you can already see in here anyway. So that's all I'm doing. I'm putting in a couple more leaves. I might thinking about gluing these. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue on here. Pop it down there. And a little bit of glue on this one. And pop this one in. Oops. Get it under there. Pop it in there. Right, it's really hard to see, I know, because of the light. I'll just see if I can move that light a little bit. Oh, there you go. And I do have these little strands here. Oh. Oops, big blob of glue there. Lucky it's going to be hidden. The good news is because you've got these, you can always work your fingers around there if you need to. So there's that one as well. All right, so that is the inside of the card done. And then of course you can add some glitter glue or whatever you want to do, some Wink of Stella to make it sparkle, that, or little rhinestones or something. But this is basically, this is the card. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, the floating pop-up card. And as I have said previously, the measurements in metric and imperial are in PDF form, and I'm going to link them, pop them in there for you as well. All right, have a great day. Bye.